So this is your test review. I'm going to go over most of the questions. On your test review that you turn in, you can look at my video. If whatever I show, you can copy it down. That's part of your review. If some reason, some question I did not demonstrate, definitely need to show me the work. No work, no credit. Number one, plug in the calculator, do the mental math any way you want. Number two, whenever you have evaluate with variable, all you have to do is to plug in your number, basically replace the variable with your number. So we have B, A, and C. What you need to do is replace exactly the letter with the number and with parentheses, 3 over 2. Replace A with parentheses, 3 over 2. Then parentheses, 4 times A, which is 5, minus C squared, C is 11, square, close parentheses. Sometimes people get confused. You have parentheses, parentheses outside the parentheses. If you just put this into the calculator will recognize it. But a lot of time in math, when you have parentheses outside parentheses, usually the outside one looks like a bracket. Okay, so that just to eliminate the confusion. Plug it in. This is all the work I need on the paper. Then you give me an answer using the calculator. Number 3, plug it in again. Negative absolute 3 parentheses negative 1 minus D parentheses 5. Close parentheses. So make sure you do the math inside first because outside we have an absolute sign. Whatever absolute sign means it's a positive, right? So if you do the math inside, you get negative 8. So negative 8, absolute sign become a positive 8. Outside there's a negative sign, so it's negative 8. Number 4, the formula for the surface area is that. So basically you plug in number 4, replace the variable as well, where r is the length of the radius. Find the surface area of the sphere with a radius. So radius, our r, is 14 feet. So r is 14. And then pi is 3 over 17. So pi is 22 over 7. I don't know why it says 3 over 17. Oh my gosh. Plug it in. A equal 4 times the pi, 22 over 7, times the r, which is 14, square. Use calculator. Name the sets of number to which negative 1/3 belongs. So it's a negative number, and it's not a whole number. It's a rational number. So if it's not a whole number, it's not integer. Okay? So integers are wrong. And then it's B, basically. It's real, it's a real number. Whenever it's not imaginary, like a negative, this negative inside the square root is a real number. And then it's rational because 1/3 is negative 0.33333. Repeat. Whenever you see the n, which is repeat, is a rational number. Okay, simplification. No need to talk about it more. All you have to do is distribute, then combine the like terms. Okay? This property, remember we learned 4 different property? X and Y, the place switched. When the X and Y place switched, what kind of property is that? Think about it. I don't have the book with me. You have the book. You figure it out. Okay, sum equation. Those are the part that we actually learned, the major part we learned in this chapter. Remember when you solve, first one, just simple equation. When you solve equation, you got to have isolate the variable, right? Then we have two things we have to get rid of. 5 and negative 2/3 to move to the other side. Further one first. Further one is 5. Do the opposite of what the operation is. So right now we have 5, which is plus 5. Then you're going to subtract 5, right? 23 equal 5 minus 2/3 m. You know what, let me just make it bigger. Oh, this pen is killing me. So you subtract 5. You subtract 5 on both sides. Okay? Then you get 18 equal, this cancel, negative 2/3 m. Then you have to get rid of the negative 2/3. This is multiplied. That means you have to divide negative 2/3. Divide negative 2/3. Okay? So 18 divided negative 2/3 is equal to 18 times negative reciprocal 3/2. 1 and 9, so you get negative 27. Number 9, it's a absolute. Absolute. The first step of absolute, summing absolute equation, is to isolate the absolute sign, right? So if you have a absolute equation, what you have to do, first step, is to isolate the absolute sign, right? So in order to isolate the absolute sign, we have to get rid of the 3. By doing what? Dividing. So you divide 3 on both sides, divide 3, divide 3. So you got 16 over absolute 4x minus 10. So after you isolate the absolute sign, then you get rid of the absolute sign, right? Remember the first step? Isolate. The second step is the OR. What's the OR? You get rid of the absolute sign. 4x minus 10 equal to 16. That's the first one. And you get a second equation, 4x. What happened? So 4x minus 10 equal negative 16. Ooh. Negative 16. So you solve each separately. 4x equal 26. Why did I say 16? It's 6. Oh my gosh. So 4x equal to 16. So x equal to 4. And then this one plus 10 on both sides. So 4x equal 4, x equal 1. So your answer will be 1 and 4. Next question, straightforward. Distribute then x on one side, number on the other side, you solve for x. The last question is absolute sign again. Absolute sign, isolate the absolute sign, that means you get rid of the 10 by minus 10, minus 10. So x minus 3 equal negative 8. Well, this one's tricky. Why? Because absolute sign means what? It's always positive bigger than 0. Can it has a negative answer? No. So instead of going to the second step, you do the OR, get two equation. It's just no solution. Taking forever. Okay, so these are problems that you have to write an equation and solve it yourself. Okay, so those are the type of question you're going to see a lot on ACT or any type of standardized test. All you have to do is write in relationship and then solve it. So Jamie is 4 years younger than her brother. So there is a relationship, right? And usually what we're looking for is x. So if we're looking for Jamie's present age and we set it as x, so Jamie is 4 years younger than her brother. So her brother is actually 4 plus x, and Jamie is actually x. Does that make sense? Okay. Then 5 years from now, the sum of their age will be 32. So 5 years from now, what is the age of Jamie? Oh, sorry. This is not x. Let me start over. So let's assume Jamie is x, and then her brother is x plus 4. 5 years from now, the present age of Jamie is x plus 4 plus 5, right? And then the present age of her brother is x plus 4 plus 5. And this is a sentence tells you the relationship. So the sum of their age, you add all of them together, is 32. All right, then you just have to solve x. But once you solve x, let me just do it. So 2x plus 14 equal 32. 2x equal 8 and x equal, 18 and x equal 9. So that means Jamie is 9 years old. Okay, what Jamie's present age? Well, 9 years old. The second question, one side of a triangle is 4 centimeters longer than the shortest side. So let's take a look at what we're looking for. We're looking for the length of the longest side of the triangle. You can set the longest side as x, but it's usually when you're looking at length, it's easier to set the shortest side as x. Then one side is x plus 4 because it's 4 centimeters longer. The third side of the triangle is twice as long as the shortest side. So the third side is twice as long, 2x. And then the relationship they have is its parameter is 40 centimeter. Parameter is all sides add together. So one side is x plus 4, right? Plus the shortest side is x, and the longest side is 2x. All together is 40. Then you just have to combine the like term and solve equation. What you solve, here, x, is it the longest side that we're looking for, or is the shortest side? We set the shortest side. is 9, right? It's x. That means our longest side is what? 2x. 2x is actually 18. Now we're looking at inequality. Inequality, you solve it just like equation, remember? However, the only thing that's different is when you multiply or divide a negative number. You gotta flip the sign. So, question number 14, we need to isolate the x. That's right here. So we have a 4, 5, we have a negative 7, we have a 2 to get rid of. Which one you get rid of first? The longest, the further away one. The furthest away is the 5. So what you need to do is multiply 5 on both sides. So you get 1.9 larger than 2x minus 7. Then you get rid of the negative 7 by plus 7 on both sides, 2.6 larger than 2x. Then divide by 2, 1.3 is larger than x. Oh, shoot. Sorry. It's plus 7. My bad. See what sickness do to me? So plus 7. I thought it plus 0.7. So plus 7 is 8.9 larger than 2x. So x is actually it's 4.45 is larger than x. Okay, so it's A. Then when you have a compound inequality, you have to do the same thing, but you just have to do on all three sides, right? So we still isolate the x. What we have? We have a 7 to get rid of, and we also have a negative sign to get rid of. So we get rid of the 7 first by subtracting 7 on all three sides. So you get 2 smaller equal to 7 cancel out, negative x smaller equal to negative 8. And then we have a negative sign, which is negative 1 times x, right? What you do is divide by negative 1 on all three sides. When you divide a negative number, you flip the sign. So negative 2. This flip it become larger than x. Flip the sign become larger than 8. Then you probably wonder, is it true? Can it be? Can an x larger than a positive 8 and also smaller than negative 2? I don't think it's possible. So the answer is B. A square, a circle with a slash is no answer. Then number 16, you just have to solve inequality on both sides. Okay. Number 17. Same thing. It's an absolute sign inequality, so you can have the or. Okay. But the tricky part of the or is when you get rid of the absolute sign, you keep the same as it is. For the first one, or is 2x minus 3 and become a negative 7 and flip the sign. Okay, so the tricky part is the second equation with the second part. You flip the sign, you get an opposite number of what you have. Then you solve it, plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. 2x smaller equal to 10, 2x larger equal to -4, and x smaller equal to 5, and x larger equal to -2. Put them together is this. How do you check if it's right? If you circle C for inequality, you cannot pick the number that's there. You have to pick a number in the range. So between -2 and 5, I would say let's see if 0 works, okay? If it's 0, you plug in 0 into your equation, inequality. You put in 0, so 2 times 0 is 0, so it's -3, which is 3. 3 is smaller, equal to 7, so check. So the last one is super straightforward. All you have to remember is that going to the right, that means the x is larger. And then going to the left, that means x is smaller. If you have a hollow circle, that means there's no equal, okay? If you get a solid circle, that means there is a line underneath which is equal. One last question. One number is 4 times a second number. So let's say a second number is x. A number is 4 times x. If you take 1/2 of the second number, okay, 1/2 of the second number, which is 1/2 x, and increase it by the first number. Increase means plus. So plus the first number 4x. The result is at least 45. So at least means it must be bigger or equal to at least 45. Find the least possible value for the second number. So due to the question, we set up an inequality. All we have to do is solve it. Since we have a fraction, we want to get rid of fraction. We will multiply 2 for the entire inequality. That gives you 2.5 cancel. That gives you x plus ax bigger equal to 90. So 9x bigger equal to 90, and x should be bigger equal to 10. It says least possible value for the second number. Second number is x. The least possible is 10. So last one is a bonus. You gotta do it by yourself. You get it, extra point on the test. You don't, that's fine. So I pretty much go over 2/3, actually most of the stuff. So good luck. We have a test on Friday, don't forget.